Today I'm going to be playing some classical chess. Classical chess is probably the best chess time control for improvement, and it's quite the opposite to blitz and bullet chess, which basically teach you anti-patterns. And just look at my rating. It's 1200. Well, the reason it's 1200 is because I lost a couple of games and then I won one. So this person is not particularly strong, and I expect him to lose quickly. But let's see, because the first two games I also expected my opponents to lose quickly, and I was the one who lost. Okay, so he plays the main move, which means I can play the Vienna Gambit. Now taking is wrong, because I have e5, but he takes. So now the knight can only go to the home square, and now it's very important. Before I play d4, I have to play this move knight to f3 to prevent a queen check. But that's all theory so far, by the way. Okay, d6. This move I don't think I know. d6 baffles me a bit. Most players here play with their knight. Obviously it cannot be good, because I have two pieces developed, you have none. So I can play queen e2, which seems like a good move. But then he actually takes, and if I take, later I let him win some tempo. But fine, let's do it. I don't want to play d4 and trade the queens. And he's not even taking, which means now I am gonna take. And that's a free pawn, because it exposes a check. And now blocking with anything becomes impossible. Only bishop e6 is possible. Which means now I can take the second pawn. Maybe I can also try to put some pressure. Okay, let's first take the pawn and then play d4. Now this is a fork. I should also get my king castled. Okay, he defends against the fork, but not quite, because I can still push and the bishop is pinned. So the knight has to take, which means I take back with the knight. So he takes. He's probably trying to take with the bishop, but Lee chess doesn't allow him to do that. Now the f4 pawn is also hanging. Also the queen is hanging. He moves the queen. I'm thinking of just taking the pawn like this, because my knight is hanging. It's not like I can defend it. Yeah, but if he pushes the pawn, this is a fork. So I would like to keep the knight there. Maybe c4 actually. The knight is standing here, there, very well. But if I play c4, he might play knight b4. So let's just take the pawn and put some pressure on the bishop. Then I might want to play bishop d2, castle long. That move doesn't come with a threat. It doesn't really come with a threat. I can take the bishop. Then we might trade the queens, which I have to admit I'm fine with, because I'm up material. What I'm also considering is this move g3 to prepare Fenkettoving my bishop. And if he wants to take my knight, I will recapture with the bishop and say that, hey, you're helping me develop. Also pulling my knight back to d3 doesn't look shabby, because then I'm preparing like a bishop to e3 and castling long. So a lot of stuff is good here. But I think when you're up material, you should trade. So let's just take on e6. Pawn takes. So he's doing the correct thing. He's trying not to trade queens. And I'm thinking of developing my bishop, and I want to do it like this to ensure that I have castling. Let's play bishop d2 and prepare long castling. He castles short. I will castle long. And now I'm also threatening this move, not right away. The rook is guarding that square. But at some point, I'm ready to move my bishop and say that the bishop on d6 is pinned. Oh, so he decides to move the bishop right away. I don't see a useful discovered attack on the queen. Because if I move the bishop away from this diagonal, I can get checked, although that's not a problem because my knight covers the g5 square. So maybe bishop c3. The queen, by the way, has to move to c8 because otherwise the e6 pawn falls. So how can I exploit it? Bishop h6 is a funny move, which doesn't quite do anything, but if queen c8, yeah, it doesn't do anything, I have to admit it. So let's just play bishop to c3. I'm adding additional defense to the king. I'm also replacing my bishop on a better diagonal. Bishop g5 is not possible, because I will just take it with a knight. And now queen c8 looks like the only move. But he blunders, which means I can give a check. And now I have a bunch of options. First of all, I can play queen g4 and attack checkmate. He might have to defend with the rook, but anywhere he puts the rook, I have bishop c4. So if he trades the queens, I'm fine with that. Another option might be to play bishop b5 to trap the knight, as well as rook d7. But now I have to be very careful, because actually bishop g5 almost works. Like if my knight wasn't here, and I couldn't have taken the bishop, my queen would have been hanging. So now his idea is probably to play rook takes f3. And after I recapture, there's bishop g5 check, which would be quite tragic to blunder. So let's just play queen to g4. That's a safe move. I'm also attacking checkmate. Rook f7 and rook g8 don't work, because I have bishop c4. So probably like queen to g6. Then I should be able to trade. Instead he blunders checkmate. I'm gonna be playing another classical game. And I get a 1300 with a question mark. He's probably looking up my profile. And he plays e4. So I was thinking whether I should play the same thing all the time. Probably I shouldn't. Let's play e5. I don't just want it to be educational, also want it to be interesting. Let's play e6. To be honest, I don't know the theory at all. Like already, bishop c5 might be a bad move, because he will take on e5. After I recapture, there's d4. So maybe a knight f6. Okay. He's trying to play d4. But that's a pawn. Okay, probably it's not a pawn, because he has queen e2. So let's just continue with normal development. Castle. And maybe d6. I could have played d5. Okay, and he allows the spin. Okay. I mean, if he plays g4, he's opening up his king. But my bishop becomes a bit stranded on the edge of the board. Okay, that's a good move. That's probably a good move. And what I did here is probably not good. Maybe I could have played d5 here. Although I would have lost this pawn. But then like bishop d6. I'm not sure. So how about I play d5 now? Let's play d5. I think I should be opening up the center. Okay, he takes. Now, I wanted to take with a knight. Does queen takes work? Because it looks like... no, it doesn't work. First of all, there's bishop b3. And second of all, I'm not even putting pressure on the knight. Okay, and he's opening up the position. Wait a second. Is that a good decision? Like if I take on d4, he cannot take back because I take back as well. So probably after this, he will take my knight. Then I think I have d takes c3. Then if he takes, I also take his knight. And I'm also attacking his rook. I don't think that was a good decision to do this. That's first of all. And second of all, I can avoid the complications completely by just playing b5. He has to go back, and then I take the pawn. But b5 there might be c4, but then I take and actually get a bishop for a knight, which I like. Let's play b5. So he plays this move, and now I'm going to take. Wait, there might be bishop e4, and my queen is actually overloaded, so I have to, if bishop e4, I have to play like a rook e8. But now I'm fine. Again, bishop e4, I'm gonna play rook e8. I have to play it, because otherwise my queen is too busy guarding two pieces at the same time. Or c6, by the way. But rook e8 is more natural, bringing my rook into the game. Oh, I don't think that's a good move. He's attacking my knight, but what if I just take his knight? I can also take the bishop, which is a fork he has to take, and then I take this knight. This comes with a check, so he's forced to take. And then I can play like a queen to d7. He has to bring his king closer. I actually like both. So let's take here, because it's a check. He's forced to double up his pawns. And that's where I'm gonna hit him with queen to d7. He has to spend the tempo bringing his queen up. I mean, his king up, and then I have to play something like maybe bishop h4. Wait a second, if he does nothing, I take and he takes my knight. I think he has no way to escape checkmate. Yeah, there's no queen g5, thanks to the bishop. So that might be a wise sacrifice. Queen d7, b3, well, hypothetical move. I have no idea what he can play there. Queen takes h3, queen takes d5, bishop takes f3. How is he defending against checkmate? The king cannot move. Nothing can defend g7. And also h1. So let's play queen d7. He has to bring his king up. And then I might actually play, I was about to say queen f5, but I have to calculate a check. Queen takes f6 and queen takes d5. That should be fine, because I also take on f3. I also have a check on d6. The point is, he probably is going to take my knight, because the f3 square is defended. That's actually smart. I didn't see that. So probably I have to play bishop g6. If queen takes h3, yeah, there's just, I'm pretty sure there's just queen takes d5. And how on earth am I winning f3? Let's play bishop g6. This knight is not a problem, even though it's pinned, because I always have c6. He is scared of taking. Fair, I would also be scared. I can take myself, but I don't really want to trade when I'm attacking. I would rather get him to take and help me open up the f-file. That would be nice. So maybe I can play something like queen c6 in order to, first of all, unpin myself, second of all, attack the bishop. And if he ever takes again, I'm opening the f-file. But queen c6, there might be bishop e4, which is quite annoying. And if I take, he undoubles his pawns. Or brings his knight. I'm not sure if I should allow that. Bishop b4 is a move. But then bishop d2, and I'm not sure what I get from that. Bishop c5, putting pressure on f2, is an idea. And the following idea is to bring my rook. Maybe this rook. Like, everything looks good here. Again, I don't want to play queen c6, because there is bishop e4, as I said. Bishop c5 looks good. Bishop b4 looks good. Again, if he decides to play like a bishop to b3, I can always play c6. That shouldn't be a problem. So let's play bishop c5. This opponent is not that simple. Not as easily defeated as the first one. Okay, and that's where he takes. Which means I am able to take back and open up a file. Now if he moves the rook up, let's say, well, that's a fork, but if he moves the rook here, for example, I have a check, but it doesn't work because bishop takes, right? And it defends the queen. So it doesn't work. So my next move is probably c6. Yes. He wants to trade, that makes sense. Knight f4 check doesn't work because bishop takes f4. And all of a sudden the queen is defended. So probably c6. c6 looks very solid. That should be the best move. The knight is never pinned like this because I can always move it to f6 or b6, protecting the queen. It is pinned to the bishop, but I was planning on playing something like bishop d6 or bishop d4 anyway. Now rook e8, trying to trade off his only active rook. Okay, and that's where he played queen to d2. I'm not sure what the idea of this move is. It looks like it blocks the bishop. Now I have a check. It doesn't really work because the king just moves and the queen is defended. Bishop b4 is an idea. I wanted to play queen f2 here. Since now the pawn is defended only by the king, I can also bring my second rook like this, so that now knight f4 becomes a threat. Oh, that's just a blunder. Oh, not quite, because bishop here. That's very lucky. Very lucky of him. Now bishop d4 suddenly became available. Oh, bishop d4 was a cool move. I mean, the queen is defending b2. If it wasn't, like, the rook moves and I take, and if bishop takes, this is a fork. Funny move. I can still play knight f4, and if bishop takes f4, rook takes f4, my rook became active. What else can I play here? Bishop d4, bishop d6, but both of them are met with rook to e4. So maybe a rook trade. That should be fine. Which rook, though? That's a good question. Probably this rook. I feel like I'm really overthinking it. And he's also playing very fast. Okay, he took. So now he moves the queen. And also attacks my bishop. That's important to notice. Maybe it's time I traded it off for a knight. I can also try to play bishop b6 and maintain the pressure on this f2 square. The question remains the same. Can my bishop re-enter the game from b6? And I think it can. And I just noticed the problem. A problem with bishop d6. There's a move like knight to e4, which actually gains a tempo on my bishop. So bishop b6 should be the best move. And then I might want to play c5, c4, and just keep rolling my pawns. Because I actually have a pawn majority over here. And the guy is refusing to blunder. I mean, he blundered a pawn. But now he refuses to blunder. Or maybe I just don't notice something. Bishop d2. A logical response to this might be c5. In order to seal this diagonal forever. I wanted to play queen e6 before he made this move, but now there's just rook e1, and it doesn't look like I can make some progress. So let me play c5. Okay. He wants to trade some rooks. Now there's a funny move, which is a check. He cannot take because the bishop is defending the rook, so he has to move the king. The question is where he moves the king. King to h2. At the first glance seems like the most logical move, but then queen takes h3. I think I am already winning here. Yeah, that's the blunder I was waiting for. Knight f4. If bishop takes f4, I think that's the best move, by the way. I take the rook. If king anywhere, king g1. There's just a check. Yeah. A queen check, I just block it. So that's not a problem. And if knight e4, then I play queen d1. And with that, I actually force a queen trade. That's what I said. c4. And he just pushes a pawn. Which is a free queen. What? Okay, I expect a resignation from here. Or will he play until checkmate? I would actually love him to play until checkmate. Because against human players, we actually lack conversion skills. Everyone just resigns after they lose a piece, and intermediate players are not taught to win winning positions. Wait, did he quit the game? Okay. He just left. Okay, it looks like my opponent is not going to re-enter the game, which means I'm gonna claim a victory.